Hi, how are you?
Hi, Arush. Good evening.
Good
I'm good.
evening.
How about you?
All well, all well.
Great. Hello, everyone. Good evening. So we can begin.
Awesome. So we have what, 20, 25 people here?
Yeah. So
Awesome.
more would be joining. So we would have something around 70, 80 in numbers. Right. Registrations were double of that. In initial, I'll give a brief about Elevate Pulse, and then you can take it over. Hope that's okay.
Yeah. Please start. I'll just also plug my laptop in. Yeah.
Great. So hello, everyone. I hope my screen is visible. So this is Elevate Pulse Live, the first session of season two. The topic is founder mindset and leadership in the D2C journey. We have our host Sagar and the speaker Arush Chopra. So Elevate is a D2C insider program, an accelerator which is for the early D2C age brands, generally in the stage of pre-revenue, early revenue, or mid-revenue, some range in between 5 lakhs or pre-revenue to 25 lakhs MRR. Generally, founders find difficulty to build and scale their businesses. That's why we come in as Elevate, and we solve the problems. We do provide mentorships, we do provide accelerators, benefits, and also facilitate funding up to a check of 1 crore. And we are open for the cohort 5 applications now. So for the early stage program founders, you can apply. This is what you will get. The Elevate program have benefits of 50 plus hour learnings with the 20 plus live sessions depending upon the different domains and categories. You will have the chance to secure the commitment and the investment amount of up to 1 CR as the capital commitment by the bigger VCs. There will be one-on-one mentorship sessions also, and that have a definite timeline. In addition, you will also get more than 25 lakhs worth enabler credits from the 15 plus enablers, which will help you to scale and grow your business. These are our speakers and mentors who will help you in your growth and expansion journey. Uh, Industry names, big names are there. So now, here's the speaker, Arush. I'll just invite and ask him to lead it.
Hi, guys. And thank you, Sagar, for having me.
Yes.
Um, I don't know if I should introduce myself or there is some sort of a.
A brief, great, if you can deliver,
Yeah, okay.
that would be good. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, my name is Arush. I built from scratch and sold a beauty brand called Just Herbs to Marico, which is the large FMCG company. It's been a 10-year journey for me from building it from zero to selling the company. And out of those 10 years, around 5.5 years, I was running it as a bootstrapped venture, which was profitable. After that, I raised a little bit of venture capital, and proud to say was able to provide a very good exit to the VCs and to the angels. So in 18 months of them investing in the company, Marico bought everybody out, right? And then I worked with a strategic, which is Marico, for 3 years, building out the business with them. Built it out to about 135 crores of ARR at the time that we exited, with very good, um, unit economics. We were slightly a bit negative because we built out our offline piece. In about 18 months, we built about six to 700 retail touch points. So we had to invest ahead of time, which kind of made the EBITDA slightly negative. But inherently, it was always a high gross margin business with very high operating leverage. And I think that is what attracted a player like Marico, who had a vision that they want to acquire digital brands who are building differentiated, offerings, and doing it in a very frugal or capital efficient way, and then eventually combine those businesses to build a big house of brands. So you would have seen in their latest quarterly results that the three brands that they have acquired are now actually having an ARR of 750 plus crores. And this will soon touch 1,000 crores between the three or four brands that they have acquired. So it's being called one of the biggest success stories in acquiring digital businesses and then combining them, basically, where a lot of other players have not fared too well. That's my story here. So this is just my this is what I do. I think as founders, we tend to identify ourselves with the businesses that we are making, which is why when I was introducing myself, all the description is only about Just Herbs and nothing else. But apart from this, I think I'd just like to tell you a little bit more about the person that I am. So I grew up in Chandigarh. I was there till class 12. After that, I studied across the country. Went to St. Xavier's College. I after that got a scholarship to study in Europe. So I've lived in three countries, and I don't have an MBA. I don't didn't go to an IIT. Didn't go to an IIM. So I'm not your typical pedigree founder, which VCs like to back. I didn't build the business from a Mumbai or a Delhi or Gurgaon or what have you. So I built it from Chandigarh. I'm not saying it was anything intentional. I did it because I wanted to do it. But now when I look back, I think people think it's unusual. So I thought I like to highlight it, and why not, right? I mean, if it worked out, then I think it can work out for a lot of other people also, because a lot of people would like to do that. Because I think building businesses out of these big cities, which are crowded both in terms of physical crowd, as well as too much happening, right? In terms of everybody's talking startup, startup, startup. There is very little time to actually put your head down, think with a cool head, and actually build something. So there is a big scope for building out a lot of good businesses, and a lot of that is already happening from the so-called smaller towns in India, which have a lot of potential, right? So that is something I passionately believe in. After the exit, I'm very simply, in very simple terms, I'm trying to be useful to people, especially to founders. Whoever needs help normally reaches out to me, and if I think I can add any value, I do it. And the idea is to basically learn about your business and see if I can be of any help in any way. In a more formal capacity, I sit on the investment committees of three groups. One being D2C Insider, the other being an incubator in Punjab, which is looking at the startups from that region. And the third is, another angel network based out of Chandigarh, called Chandigarh Angels. So I'm a part of that as well. So yeah, so just been doing this. What else? After the exit, the first thing I've done is I've kind of tried to work on my health. I'm happy I've lost about 12 odd kgs. And I think the biggest thing you ignore while building a business is your own health, because two things really matter in life here. One is health, which is very, very important, and of course money as well. So money is normally a byproduct, but health, bad health is also a byproduct of that process. So, and which can't be reversed normally. So that's one thing I've been working on. Second is just taking up challenges here, basically. So I became a content creator for some time, just to learn how Instagram can be scaled. So I had about 900 followers, and I started making reels, and I went to 1.25 lakh followers in less than 6 months. And that really taught me a lot about the algorithm, how to crack social media, storytelling, etc. And I didn't have anything to sell, right? That's the other thing. So yeah, so and again, did that in a very startup way, right? So the idea being that you don't need big setups to do things like that. So I just ordered a mic from Amazon, two lights from Amazon, and I told my cook how to use the phone to shoot, right? And that was it. And then one person was hired remotely to edit the videos. That's it. That was the only guy I was paying anything. And but then I stopped because the idea was not to become a famous influencer or anything, although I did get two brand collabs, so can't complain. But the idea was never to be an influencer of any sort, but to really learn the process. And then I posted about it on LinkedIn also, like, what the learnings were from that process. So that has been my journey. Yeah, so it continues. I think right now, just trying to gain momentum again by building with other people. So very open to that and very excited to interact with the group that is here. So Sagar, these are you said the founders who are in this call are essentially people who are doing what 5 to 30 lakhs of monthly business, all D2C
Generally,
brands.
generally early stage founders, typically like early revenue, pre-revenue, and like 5 to 20, 25, 30 lakhs MRR. Yeah.
Okay,
But I
awesome.
was tapping and going forward. I just want to ask about like pain point problems that you saw that led to the like origin of Just Herbs. If you can
Hmm.
tap down on that part, because finding out a good pain point problem is also a solving thing, right? To
Yeah,
articulate in very good manner, and then
yeah.
how you formulated the pain point problem to a solution and like developing it into a PMF or MVP.
Mm.
If you can tap down on that journey, so that will give more like better horizon to the audience.
Mm.
Yeah.
See, normally, in startups, we normally follow this narrative like, problem statement, MVP, early traction, blah, blah, blah. But when in real life, like really the way to execute it, in my opinion, is I was at what's that Masters Union the other day, and the MBA batch had the same thing, that how do you identify the problem and all that. Now there are two types of problems, right? One are real problems and the other are imagined problems. Imagined problems are problems which are in your head but they actually don't exist, and those typically happen. Imagined problems are, you should really stay away from them because they are basically, they don't exist, they are illusions. And they usually happen when you end up having a product and then you find out a problem for it, कि यार वो मतलब प्रोडक्ट बन गया था और फिर उसके बाद हमने देखा कि इसके लिए प्रॉब्लम ढूंढते हैं. दैट इज नॉट अ वेरी गुड आइडिया इन माय ओपिनियन. आई थिंक वन वे टू चेक इट इज, एंड दिस इज an ideal scenario that I'm talking about, is that I meet Sagar at a party and I tell Sagar, यार Sagar, I'm working on XYZ. And Sagar is like, अच्छा यार लॉन्च कब हो रहा है, वो ये ले पैसे रख ले अभी, यार अभी रख ले पैसे, जब वो मेरे को बता दियो जब लॉन्च होगा. If you are getting that type of a response, okay, even before the product is launched, then I think that is worth working on. That is one way to check whether what you are, if people are willing to open their wallet and pay for it even before it is launched.
Right.
That is one way to check. Now, I will also touch upon whether when you have already started your business, you're already launching new and new products, and before every product, how do you check whether it meets this criteria or not, right? We used to do that a lot with Just Herbs, right? So that is one framework, I think, to think about whether what you are doing is actually a gap or not. See, it's not about making a slide for an investor, like both 4 by 4 banake, you put all the other brands in the three quadrants and yours is always in the top right quadrant. I mean, we see
Right.
so many pitches on a daily basis. Every brand is in the top right quadrant. I've also done that in the past,
Right.
right? बट वो आपकी खुद की बनाई हुई स्लाइड है यार, वो रियलिटी नहीं है, तो आप अपने आप को झूठ मत बोलो यार.
True.
सो इफ पीपल हैव सेड दैट यार लॉन्च कब हो रहा है बता दे, देन एंड नाउ द पॉइंट इज दैट नाउ समबडी माइट से यार, बट तूने कौन सा कुछ कोई बहुत बड़ा काम किया है, राइट? आई मीन ब्यूटी ब्रांड ही तो बनाया है, देयर इज डाइम अ डजन, यू नो लिपस्टिक्स हैं, विच इज फेयर. सो माई थिंग वाज दैट आई यूज्ड टू लिव इन सिंगापुर. And the idea was that I had had enough of working in the corporate world. I wanted to build something on my own in terms of, build something big, because I was much younger. 10 years ago, I would have been about 29, 30. And my wife and I, we decided to quit our jobs and come back to India. And but the idea was, what do we do, right? So this ecosystem wasn't the way it is today. D2C was not a word. There was no D2C insider, nothing. I think Abhishek was in his own journey at that time. Like all of us were doing something very different.
Right.
Um, so the idea was that, my mom, she used to make these lotions and potions, and she studied science. She's been a biochemist, got 6 odd gold medals when she was a student. And after my sister and I had grown up, she studied Ayurveda. So she was making these products which were very effective. And Megha, who's my wife, was my girlfriend in college when I was in Bombay, and I used to give her these products to use, and she and her PG mates would really love them. So later in life, when we were deciding to come back to India to do something, we said, okay, यार वो कर लेते हैं. You know, those products were solid because product हमें पता है कि mother बना रही है, and कहीं ना कहीं there was that, I always look for that, like that X factor, that junoon in a founder कि यार ये करना क्यों है basically, right? In my case, I didn't realize it back then, but now when I look back, there was a little bit of that also. Yeah, this is mom's creation. Let's do something with it. It was basically that. There was no other thinking around it. कि यार बहुत पैसा बनाना है या market sizing क्या होती है. Nothing of that sort. It was just stupidity. You may call it. That's what a lot of people thought. My own dad was telling me, you guys are stupid. Like, who leaves a job, comes back here? My relatives are telling me, why don't you migrate to Australia, Canada? People are dying to leave this country. Leave this country. And in Chandigarh, Punjab, every other nook and cranny has an immigration center. Now nobody wants to go abroad, but things were different at that. So I was like, you guys should be encouraging us, but whatever, right? So there was a lot of noise. I'm not saying that they didn't mean good for us. They obviously meant good, but to be able to survive all that, you need something extra, something more, and it can't be. It's a big market and all. So don't. I mean, I never like to hear, oh, I am doing this because this market is very big. Like, so a lot of markets are very big, right? You could have just gone and done, you wanted to make money, you could have gone and traded cement. You know what I'm saying, right? Just do what the hell you want. If the idea is just to make money, there has to be something else. And if it is not there, it's okay. Maybe you don't have it now, maybe it will come later. Don't lie about it, but it is always helpful if you can really identify what it is. Right. Because then later, when you build a brand around a very strong reason to believe, so the About Us page of Just Herbs for the longest time had some stuff written about naturality and, organic ingredients and stuff like that. After 5 years is when I realized that that is actually not what the brand is. The brand is the story of how I came back and I took mom's recipes and I made this and I made that. And I just posted that little passage that I wrote on LinkedIn, and people went crazy. Like, I got some 4-5 thousand likes, and the brand has existed for 5-6 years, and people were like, we were using it, we never knew the story behind it. People started writing to me emails, saying that I remember a lady said, my son's name is Arush, and I would be so happy if my son ever did that something like that for me. And so yeah, so I was really amazed that how a strong reason to believe, in marketing you call this reason to believe, which is basically the an actual reason why something exists, is so important if you communicate it well. And you cannot invent it. Like, every skincare brand is tempted to say, oh, I had bad skin and nothing would work, that's why I started this. I mean, people are not fools, people can read through that. So it has to be, so if you're saying my mother started it, there has to be a mother, there has to be a story which actually has happened, right? Because in today's day and age, you can't wing it. And forget people, you can't lie to your own self, because this is going to be a long 10-year journey, right? So you have to do something which is truthful. So I've rambled on quite a bit, Sagar, but I don't know if it was useful. But
It is absolutely. But I agree on that fact that story is the like ultimate key and changer. I would say in the early stage only, but later also the numbers will talk. But in the early stage, in which all the invitees
yeah.
or the attendees here can relate to it, in the early stage, always a story like will.
Especially with physical products, right? I mean, if you are doing a SaaS company, I can understand. But you are selling physical products which are going to be used by human beings.
True.
Human beings respond the best to clear, believable stories which touch your heart, so try to, find that.
Right, great. So coming to the topic today, founders mindset and the leadership and the D2C journey, right? So when you said that you were working good in Singapore, right, then something clicked and you moved out to India. So what was the why? Why you shifted? Why you thought that it's the time to begin with something and build something in India? And again, why India? Why not there in Singapore? Just want to understand that mindset and when that thought
Yeah,
process.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know, like, I think there is a big cohort of founders now
Yeah.
who are basically people, I call them the Swadesh founders, basically.
Okay.
Like, from the
Great.
movie Swadesh, like when SRK comes back to India to do something. I
Yeah.
think there is a big and growing cohort of such people. And the reason is very, very simple because there are no growth pockets left in the world. Now,
Right.
this is a very analytical way of talking about it, but अगर मैं देसी भाषा में बोलूँ तो when you are living overseas now the life and all is comfortable and all, but there is no, so it's very like it's the same level continues, it's plateaued, you know.
Stay. Right.
There's no like you don't feel that excitement of zooming up, you know,
Right.
because
Right.
and because those economies are developed, they are tapped out, and I started feeling that like यार वही रोज टाई लगा के वही क्लाइंट्स के सामने बोर हो गया यार. So I
True.
want to do something on my own, right? तो वो हो रहा था. And then I met somebody in the family who's a veteran from Nestle. And we were just having a cup of tea in his house. He said something which really impacted me. He said, "Yeah, Arush, you kids, my wife and me, we were both, what, 28, 20, 29, 30 years old, 29 years old then. Like, you guys, kids are like sitting in the wrong place at the wrong time, man. You should be in an emerging market where the growth is happening. Even in around Singapore, if you go to Vietnam, it is growing much faster. If you go to Indonesia, growing much faster." And I was like, yeah, he's right. Because even in my work, I used to tell clients that, look at Vietnam as a market. It has a young population, high demographic dividend, XYZ. And then I thought, okay, I'm talking about this, about Vietnam and all, but India is like all of this on steroids, right? India का scale तो बहुत बड़ा है इससे. And if
True.
you take these three, four island nations together, there's probably, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah. 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 I can hear you. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Audible?
It is good. It is good, Arush.
Yeah, so I was like, these three, four island nations, there are more people in Uttar Pradesh than all of these four countries put together. So, I mean, what am I even doing here? So
Right.
that was one thinking around it. And then the thing was timing, like, we say you have to be at the right place, right time and all. I think that is a little outdated and it's not true. There is nothing like right place, right time. Now is the time. So I also wasted 1 year just thinking about it, like, should I do it? Should I not do it? Before I quit, and I just did it. And when I came, that was a time where it would feel like it's too early because there was no online shopping had just started. I mean, like the brands of that time used to have a website with just a shop and not even a shopping cart on it. The only payment gateway I remember used to be pay you money. Not
Absolutely.
even pay you money. That was the
True.
only payment gateway. CC Avenue, you had to wait for 6 months to get the payment gateway. There was no COD, right? I had a courier partner collecting COD for me and saying कि सर वो पैसे रास्ते में खर्च हो गए लड़के से अब वो अगले महीने मिलेंगे, right? That is what I'm talking about, right? So
Real
now I
world.
could say the timing is very early, नहीं चलेगा. But the point is that, but the point is अगर आप timing देख के काम कर रहे हो फिर आप गलत काम कर रहे हो.
True. True.
काम ऐसा होना चाहिए कि कस्टमर बोले भैया वेबसाइट भी नहीं है मुझसे पैसे ले ले घर पे दे जाना, राइट? और आप बोलो कि यार टाइमिंग है कि नहीं है, मुझे तो ये करना है, अभी करना है.
True.
जब तक वो नहीं आ रहा ना अंदर से, अगर अगर वो आ रहा है अंदर से तो टाइमिंग इज राइट. एंड देन द इकोसिस्टम विल कीप गेटिंग फॉर्म्ड, इट्स ओके,
Got it. Got
राइट?
it.
सो दिस इज द वे आई वुड
Got
लुक एट
Great, thank you. That was insights, absolutely. Okay, so we have gathered few questions earlier in the form as well. I'll initiate that, and later on we can tap on the questions that are coming on the chat side. Right. First is right when what are the biggest challenges as a brand you faced when operating solely in the D2C business, and like in the initiation journey in the beginning, like 0 to 1, or we can say early 1 year, right? How you faced that as a founder, and what was your mindset?
very broad question, and there were so many different types of challenges. But I think I'll just touch upon a few which are very important and relatable to many people. I think the first one was to like how do you convince people to come and work with you? I think, and that too from a town where you don't find talent easily. Most of the talent is in Gurgaon and Bombay and Delhi and all that and Bangalore. Very difficult to find talent in other towns. So that was one big challenge. How I navigated it, I basically struggled. Yeah, I really struggled. But how I did it was you can hire generalists in the beginning. So you can hire people. So, for example, if you are hiring for customer support, you can hire somebody who's worked in a bank because he would have spoken to a lot of customers. So you can look at allied industries and hire people from there. And banks have a very toxic culture, so people are really happy to come work for a startup, right? So you have to find where you have a strength, and when you tell the guy यार थोड़ा कम पैसे में कर ले, at least तेरे को culture तो अच्छा मिलेगा, so that's how you are all constantly selling, and then you create your initial team. And then this whole thing about you should not be a micromanager, and you should let people work and all that. I think this is all for scaled up businesses. In the beginning you have to be a micromanager. If you don't micromanage, two things will happen. A, you will yourself don't know what to do, and if you don't know what to, because you are the only constant, people will come and go. So it's okay to micromanage in the beginning. And the second is that you don't have too many chances. This whole thing about learn from failure and all is okay till a point, but this becomes, learning from failure becomes sexy only after you have become successful, right? So I was the same person 6 months ago, but before my exit, I would not be, probably you wouldn't have called me on this session and, talk about things. One success changes everything, and उसके बाद you can keep saying कि यार मैंने failure से बहुत सीखा and all, but जब आप वहां पे होते हो, fail नहीं होना, what I'm saying, तो fail नहीं होना, इसका मतलब ये है कि माइक्रो मैनेज कर लो, especially early stages में. So
True.
this is what I would advise. I would give my own self also when I was in that place. A lot of challenges, like other challenges, ecosystem didn't exist, and that can also be used as an advantage. Like if you are not building out of Gurgaon and you don't have that people and other founders in the system, it is also a blessing, because it's like saying ki in school when you write an exam and you come out, and then a lot of kids attack you and say, अच्छा तेरे को ये भी नहीं आता था, ये वाला क्वेश्चन तूने इतना इतने मार्क्स से छोड़ दिया, oh, and then you feel bad about it. तो यहाँ पे क्या है ना, कोई क्वेश्चन डिस्कस करने के लिए है, ना मम्मी पूछेंगी कितने कितने का करके आया, कितने का छोड़, अपना चिल करो, अपना बनाओ आराम से. दैट इज द अदर बेनिफिट आई हैड एट लीस्ट. So whoever is building out of the metros, I think you guys have this advantage, so use that.
Right. You will be your own master in that sense.
Yeah, compete with yourself. Check what's happening in the market. I'm not saying that be in your own planet and don't care about what is happening, but don't obsess over it. You don't have to, read every LinkedIn post and then start feeling, insecure about it on a daily basis. Don't do that.
Right, right, right. Got it. And next would be like, what was your take? Like when you prioritize that, you will take it on Bootstrap, right? At like 10 years down, like before, uh, external funding was not very prioritized, like for the
No, it
founders.
wasn't about prioritizing and people were not funding us.
Not funding. वहाँ पे
मतलब
ecosystem
हमारी
भी
चॉइस नहीं थी कि बूटस्ट्रैप्ड होना है.
right. Okay.
पहले तो कंज्यूमर ब्रांड्स को कोई हाथ भी नहीं लगाता था उस टाइम पे.
True.
इन्वेस्टर्स वर ओनली इंटरेस्टेड इन टेक कंपनीज.
Right. Right.
So it was only, I think, around 2016-17 period when investors even there were two, Fireside was just started back then, and funds were just thinking that okay now. So and to add to that, the idea, so it was still untested waters, right, for investors.
True.
And to add to that, we didn't meet the criteria of your typical founders, right? No, I am IT, I am, like I didn't use the abbreviations like PMF and GTM and all that. I don't talk like that, right?
Right.
So I didn't give enough signals to investors that I would be a winner. Now when I look back, now on the other side, I know what those investors must be thinking. They're like कि यार MBA क्रैक करा है, IIM करा है, तो शायद ये भी फोड़ लेगा and all. That's the justification, right? Which I understand, which is good, but I was on the other end of it, right? So it took me, so I had to show that with numbers. I
True.
didn't have a degree to, Mala, I had the best education, but I didn't have the education which gives you VC funding, right? So that, let's put it that way. So I had to
Right.
bring those numbers first, build a business around it, profitable business, and that's what I did.
Right. Got it. Got it. Now the third question they have asked is like, what's the most efficient way that as you have tapped like to hire from the persons who were in the corporate background, but again the core members need to have the same mindset as compared to the founder, right? They have to align to the vision, the goal. How you develop that with the initial core members hirings, right? What was your take on that?
I think, yeah, this whole aligning vision and culture um, is something that we speak, but how does it happen? It happens by doing.
Right.
Okay. So it's like, how do you teach your child uh, good manners? Is by leading by example. If you do good things and good manners, if you will, eat with your mouth closed, the child will also learn it.
True.
So that's precisely what it is. Human beings are very good at learning by example.
Right.
Okay. So when you are a small team and you are in your early stage, you have the luxury of time. So पहले तो remote work को please मत करो. It's a big disease, remote work.
Right.
It should be stopped. Especially for early stage teams, remote वाले तो कोई फायदा ही नहीं है hire करने में, right? अच्छे लोग होंगे, बट द पॉइंट इज जो जो आप चाह रहे हो ना, कल्चर वगैरह ये सब जो बिल्ड करना है, ये दूर बैठ के हो ही नहीं सकता, बिकॉज देर इज अ रीजन वाई कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ एन ऑफिस एग्जिस्ट्स, बिकॉज ह्यूमन बीइंग्स आर सोशल एनिमल्स. वी लर्न थ्रू looking at each other. A lot of learning happens without us knowing it.
Right. Right.
A lot of times you will know whoever is your first boss in your life, they always leave an impact on you. You
Absolutely.
always copy their, the way they, talk, the way they behave. You always get impacted by it. So so in your early team, a lot of the people you will hire will be young folks. It will be their first or second job, right? So they are, so don't, you lose that opportunity if you hire remote workers, right? So that's my take on that.
Got it. Thanks. Okay, so I'll start picking a few questions from the chat box. Right. One, I'm seeing that Kanishk have asked that he or she have some innovative cosmetic products, but they are unable to create the product awareness. Right. So how they can tap their GTM and pitch those products to the like early consumers?
Sorry, can you explain that in a line? What was the question again?
Means they have some cosmetic products. Now they have
Hmm.
to do the GTM and get to the consumers or customers. So what would be the strategies in less efficient capital possibly?
There are so many strategies available today. Yaar. I mean, imagine like if there was no internet and you were building this in 90s, how would you do it? You would go to a fair, stand there, sell the product. You would go to a shop and ask them to keep. Do that again today. Put it also on your website. You know, get Facebook. You have channels available, but you can't do everything in one go, because the moment you do that, you will be distracted. You don't have enough, you won't have enough capital to do it. So pick one way to do it, like, and then do it well, and be very specific. So, okay, I will only do D2C. Fine. I mean, and don't think that one channel will have lesser risk than the other. I mean, the risk is there in every, maybe up and down, but it will always be there. Now, I don't know enough about your product. I don't know if it's actually a product which meets that test where consumers will say, "ये launch कब हो रहा है, मेरा पैसा लो." I don't know if it meets that criteria or not. That will also decide which channel it should be on.
Right. Got it. And second, Rashi have asked that all investors wants profitability. Like although you grew bootstrapped, but nowadays all investors want profitability. But depending upon meta in such competitive space, like skin is also skincare or health, every domain is right now is very competitive. So how do you think that founders or startups can achieve profitability and dependency can reduce on that aspect?
Okay. The moment you start talking about channel, I think we have to go back to first principles again, where we are saying that what is it that we're trying to do? We have a product and there is a consumer. Okay. First step is to find out whether and it is just you and the consumer. Everything else is just noise, right?
Right.
It doesn't matter. Everything else. I mean, it's like if you again, my pre-internet example, if you go to a flea market and put a stall, are people buying your product or not? Are they coming back or not? If that is not happening, don't no point doing it. You'll waste money, right?
True.
So do that to check. Now, if they are buying, that means that there is demand for your product. Now the next challenge is that which channel should you work on? That will take some hit and trial. You will have to try a few things. If Meta doesn't work, can Google work? If Google doesn't work, can organic work? Influencer marketing work? If and if all three are not working, then you really need to think what is wrong. Mostly, if there is demand for your product, if you are standing in a fair, then it should work to some level. It should work, and optimizations can be made. But broadly, you get a direction basically.
Got it. Got it. I hope Rashi gets the answer. Achal have also asked, based upon skincare only, the CACs are very high now, and there is very limited brand play. So she's asking how to find the true differentiation in the products and the strategies.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think in skincare, what has happened is that people have thought that it's some magic wand and a gold rush, and a
Right.
lot of manufacturers have come in. So starting a skincare brand, has never been easier, and scaling a brand in skincare has never been tougher. But having said that, you can see that there are some successes around us. I don't have a magic bullet or a magic solution for you, but I know that the consumers of skincare are not loyal consumers, and because of that, this is not a winner takes all market. So it is not like a Coke and Pepsi or Ola and Uber. It there can be multiple winners here. And in beauty, I think if you can create 100 200 crore revenue also profitably, it's a very good asset for anybody to acquire, or you can run it profitably as a lifestyle business also. So it's not a bad category to build in. Now, coming to it's crowded, how do we this thing? If you are even so, even if you are able to crack something unique today, you can take it in writing from me on a piece of stamp paper. That after 2 years again, you will be in the same situation because other people will again copy you.
Absolutely.
We
Right.
made the pack of 16 lipsticks. We killed it with it for almost 2 years. After that, even Lakme started selling a pack. Sugar is selling a pack. Just Google lipstick combo kit on Amazon and you will understand what I'm trying to say. So today, if I was running that company, I would also be thinking, अब मैं क्या करूँ नया? So that will never stop. You'll have to keep going. You'll have to innovate and be ahead of the game all the time. Now, this innovation can happen in terms of packaging. It can happen in terms of ingredient. It can happen in terms of how you communicate something, how you involve the consumer. So there are multiple vectors, and they can be a lot. They can be combinations of that. But in beauty and skincare, the number one thing that has to happen is the product has to work.
Right. Right.
Everything else is secondary. Nobody cares for
True.
anything else.
True. 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 That is noted. I hope Achal, you get the answer. Like as you said, that bootstrapped, if the founders do right and तब scale करता है, then everything will work. Right. Rajneesh also have asked, when you bootstrapped, how did you survive, and the top three things you kept in the mind that you have to keep going.
यार बूटस्ट्रैपिंग में सर्वाइवल ना बहुत ब्रूटल था। तो चैनल की चॉइस जो थी ना वो भी इसी इसी से करी थी कि मतलब हमको पैसा टाइम पे आ जाए। राइट, एजेंसी को अफोर्ड कभी कर नहीं सकता था, तो फेसबुक भी खुद ही सीखा था। और D2C में जो पैसे 7 दिन में आते थे, तो कैश फ्लो नहीं बिगड़ेगा इसलिए पहले D2C किया। Amazon and all, I found it really difficult to kind of master because I was a single man army. D2C was working for me. I thought the brand will get built better on D2C, so I did that. CACs were not as brutal as they are today. That was and when I started scaling my spends on Facebook and all, the CACs dropped a lot. So the nature of the algorithm is such that the moment you start scaling your spends, your margin gets eroded. So that I also faced. That is when I decided now I need to diversify. And because I had built a brand on D2C, and good social media presence and the product was solid, the marketplaces and all gave me a better entry. Although I had to really beg and plead Cloudtail at that time. I had to travel to Bangalore, and traveling from Chandigarh to Bangalore is a lakh of rupees of expense. As simple as that. So it
Right.
was very hard. It's not that anybody had it easy or anything, but this is the only way to do it. There is no other way.
Right. Okay.
So
Now,
today, I mean, so just to summarize, I think today what has happened is that something very interesting, like, so I was watching this show called Mad Men. It's a old show on Netflix. There is a scene in that in which back in the early 1990s, right? Earlier, like when people sold cigarettes in America, you could advertise saying that these are very good for your health. Okay, and and so companies were doing all sorts of things and everybody was killing it, and then suddenly the rules changed where the government said you cannot say they are good for health. So the owner of Philip Morris was sitting at that advertising agency and crying about it that, what do we do? How do we sell now? A little bit like saying, the suddenly the Facebook का CAC changed, अब क्या करूं and all. So the point is कि वो CAC जो बढ़ा है ना वो एक्चुअली सबके लिए बढ़ा है ना, सिर्फ आपके लिए नहीं बढ़ा. Now you can say कि ओ उसके पास तो बहुत सारी फंडिंग है, पर वो फंडिंग हमेशा नहीं रहेगी, वो गारंटी है. बहुत लोगों के साथ होता है ये, वो पैसा जला देते हैं फिर इन्वेस्टर नहीं देता पैसा. So when the rules have changed for everyone, what that is a blessing in disguise. It means that now the real core will come out and
True,
consumer will appreciate the real core.
true, true.
So when the mask is off from everybody, the real human being should come out, which means real classic marketing,
Right.
classic product will win. All those things you need to double down on because everybody has access to the same channel, the same set of investors, the same talent pool will keep jumping around from one brand to the other. 4 महीने यहाँ काम करा, 2 महीने वहां चले गए, ये भी होगा. लोगों को भी पोच कर लेंगे. पर जो आपका प्रोडक्ट है ना, उसको नहीं कर सकते. अब वो प्रोडक्ट भी अगर आप किसी रेगुलर फैक्ट्री में बनवा रहे हो तो उस पर ध्यान दो कि वो आपका कैसे यूनिक हो सके. राइट. सो बेसिक, अगेन आई कीप कमिंग बैक, फॉरगेट द इंटरनेट, think about how brands were built before the internet came in. I think those basics are now again becoming very important.
True, true, true. Again, natural calamities are also COVID. I think was a great example. जो अच्छे brands say they sustain and rest of them have halted.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Got it. Got it. Tanishka, I have asked in the early days of your launch, how did you build the trust and conversion like percentage for your business in the early days?
Very hard. I have had people tell me that I will not use your product because it's my face and it will screw up my face, so I will not touch your product.
Right.
Today, thanks to Nika, it is okay to buy things online and try new things. At that time, it wasn't. So it was very, very hard. So we really had to really bank upon word of mouth. And I think in beauty products, right from the time of Estee Lauder, if you listen to the biography of Estee Lauder, how she really convinced a merchandiser to keep her perfume is that she actually took her samples and she pretended like it was an accident and a bottle broke on the floor and there was fragrance all around and people said, what is this that is smelling so good? And they said, this is the product, right? So you'll have to do things like that.
Yes.
You'll have to leave your products very slyly in bathrooms, on things, make people try it, drive word of mouth, do whatever it takes. That's how you build trust.
True, true, true. Got it. Got it. I think new strategies or some innovations need to happen for the same, and founder has to drive all the time. I would say.
Yeah.
Great. Antara have asked like a long, very broad question: how to build 100 crore brand, and what are the most important 10 steps? Right. I get that, but it's very
I'll give
long.
you a specific answer to this broad question. Specific answer is show up every day
Yeah.
and put in your best every day and you make 100 crore brand. So, and it's it's similar to losing weight, right? How do you lose 12 kgs? You will not lose it overnight. You will die if you lose 12 kgs overnight. So you have to lose 500 grams every week. To lose 500 grams every week, you have to eat right every day with discipline, do exercise every day. Building a 100 crore brand is the same.
Right. I think persistence is the key on that, man, and
Persistence with systems.
systems. But
You
that's
have to get persistent in the right direction. If you move fast in the wrong direction, you will die fast,
absolutely
right? So
got it. Got it. Okay. And Veshika have asked how long did it take you to become profitable? It's very deep question, I would say.
actually, yeah, we were profitable in the first 3 years only. We were profitable.
Okay.
In fact, the profit started, the profitability started getting hit as we scaled actually. So starting 3, 4, 5 years, so we were profitable only.
Right.
We
Right.
became negative in the middle, right? And then we turned again towards profitability because you have to see that inherently now the business have to have high gross margin. If the business has high gross margin, then no matter what happens in the market, you'll have the ability to absorb those shocks.
Right. 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 Got it. got
मतलब अगर 300 रुपए का प्रोडक्ट बिकता है डिस्काउंट वगैरह के बाद, तो वो 30 40 50 रुपए से ज्यादा का नहीं बनना चाहिए. दैट्स व्हाट आई मीन बाय ग्रॉस मार्जिन.
it. Right. Something around 15 to 20% का ही COGS आना चाहिए at max.
मैक्स.
Right. Got it. Got it. Subramaniam
नहीं
have
20
asked
नहीं ना, 20 नहीं, मैं 300 और बोल रहा हूँ 50 रुपए.
50 रुपए. Okay. So at max 15 से पहले पहले का.
नहीं हाँ 20 हो गया, राइट, यू आर राइट.
हाँ
50 और
15
320 हो गया.
at max. Got it. Got it. Subramaniam have asked that when we have a great product and consumers are also loving that, but we don't have the capital to scale it, right? Generally, founders के साथ यही scenario है, right? And there is a chicken and egg problem. Investors are asking, they are interested, but they want to see the traction first. But the founders don't have the money to scale it on different channels, right? So always a chicken and egg problem for the founder. Money है तो traction आएगा, traction है तो then revenue will jump in. How they like founders can break this cycle and move forward, like bootstrapped
यार
it.
बेसिकली ना, जैसे आप कस्टमर को एंटाइज करते हो अपना प्रोडक्ट खरीदने के लिए, वैसे ही इन्वेस्टर को एंटाइज करना है पैसा डालने के लिए. तो उससे वो आपसे इन्वेस्टर बात तो हमेशा करेगा, क्योंकि उसका तो काम है ये, राइट. उसको तो डेटा चाहिए, उसको तो जानना है सबको, तो उसको मिलो, उसको बताओ, वो अगले दिन तो पैसे डालेगा नहीं. आफ्टर दैट यू बेसिकली कीप देम अपडेटेड अबाउट योर प्रोग्रेस. Keep showing them a little, right? Keep attracting them with your progress. And then tell them one day that, we are raising the round, and 1 crore is already committed. You can also bluff a little bit that 1 crore is already committed, and I'm closing the round this week only, but since we connected earlier, I'm saying that there is some allocation of 20 lakhs left for you. I'm just giving you a run. This is how it works, man.
True.
This is how it works. There is no other way. Hard. Getting hard. It's as simple as that.
Right, right, right.
Try taking a loan from a bank for your business. It's hard everywhere. I mean, before startups and all became sexy, our parents and their generation have always struggled. A small business has always struggled in this country.
Absolutely. And
In
parents
spite of that, people have made such huge businesses.
true, true. At that time तो friends and family rounds ही होते थे and parents भी chunks में पैसा देते थे, थोड़ा scale कर लेगा then
हाँ.
करूंगा. True.
हाँ. तो ये तो मतलब हाँ ऐसे ही चलता था यार.
Got it, got it. Great. Niban have asked, they have a men's plus fashion brand, but facing the challenge to grow their website visitors without the paid marketing, right? So he's asking, is the paid marketing is the only way to grow a D2C brand? And what would be the initial budget for the marketing as
It's
well?
not the only way, but it's an effective way. You can try doing organic Instagram marketing, but for that, it has to be engaging. I follow one page on Instagram where this guy has a shoe shop where he sells fake shoes, and he does such great marketing for it. It's really, really interesting how regular shopkeepers are using Instagram to drive traffic. I mean, if they can do it, I mean, you guys definitely have a better proposition.
True.
So that is one way you can explore it.
Got it, got it. Delhi have like lot of shops who sells fake shoes.
I think retailers have really understood the Instagram game now.
Absolutely, they have
So
understood, and lot of players are
that
there.
lady that so beautiful, looking like a wow, look at her, man.
Yeah,
Just look at her.
something. Got it, got it.
Zero budget, nothing,
I think you just have to pop up the camera and done. You will be
Yeah.
good. Got it. Suresh have asked, what are the five most important focus areas and building a D2C clothing? He have asked, but normal D2C brand in year 1 and 2, right? So according to the timelines, what would be the focus areas?
Sorry, what's the question again?
What are the five most important focus areas in building a D2C clothing brand in year 1 and 2, right?
I'm not an authority on clothing brands, but and you've
In
also asked
general,
five, so I don't know if I have five, but I'll keep it general, which is applicable to everybody. I think in clothing, I think one thing we always worry about is your inventory, and don't get money stuck in inventory. Plan your inventory very well. So basically, it's the basics of finance and business 101, that even if a business has just 10% margin, but it's getting money on time, the cash conversion cycle is very fast, meaning that the time it takes to spend money, buy inventory, sell that inventory, and get money from customer. The shorter that time is, the more cycles you can rotate that money. So that, then even a 10% margin business, I'm happy to invest. And but as against somebody who has 70% gross margin, but the inventory is stuck, whatever is sold, the money is not taken from the market. But what do I do with that margin? Because it's not doing anything for me.
Right.
So this is very important. Get a handle on this quickly. So track your P&L, yes, but also track your cash flow. Cash flow statement is very, very important. Always be net positive cash flow.
Right. Right. Got it. Uh, Dr. Sejal have asked, like, it's a mindset, I would say, question that why does it happen that some brands with the no MVP and the projections get D2C support or the investor support, right? Probably funding, but the brands who are scaling and have developed the MVP doesn't like gain that kind of traction or investment. So how to overcome that, I would say, thought or stage? So
It's
how the
like getting when you don't have somebody to spend your life with, and you have to do an arranged marriage. It's like that. You just keep meeting people, keep dating.
yeah,
And like this, what's that song from 90s? That Ashiki, that bas ek sanam chahiye. So you just need that one person to believe in you.
right. You have to
So
meet
that's it.
100 people and one will.
Huh?
You have to meet 100 people and one you will marry.
One you
That's
will one will matter now. It's like it's the rule there. It's like even on your website, the conversion rate in e-commerce is what 2% is the standard conversion rate. That means for every 100 people who visit your website, two will buy.
who will buy.
And you have to also at least speak to 100 investors. कुछ तो निकलेगा उसमें से, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Then Joy have asked, is contract manufacturing is the right way to start to keep the cost low rather than setting up a manufacturing unit? So what's the
That's
best?
a very tricky question, yeah. I mean, I had a factory on my own from by default. It wasn't a proper factory. It was just a very, very small thing, yeah, like a small shed where we started. So up till 50 crores of revenue, I used to think that, yeah, why am I doing this? It is so distracting to run this factory. पहले वो permission लो, फिर ये करो, and look at other people. They are getting contract manufactured and scaling so fast. But after 50 crore, it started making sense to me. So my point is that it totally depends on your product. If there are hybrid ways also what you can do. You can tell a contract manufacturer that you run the factory and take some equity in my company. That way his interests are aligned with you. Your supplies will be on time and you don't have to worry about running the factory. Otherwise, you can, if your product is such that the R&D can be done at your end, so you can have a small team to do the R&D, but the commercialization of the product can happen in a factory. So, for example, if you're making a skincare product, can you do the R&D of the basic formula at your end and then give that concentrate or that oil to the manufacturer to add it to the base and create a product? So these hybrid models, in my opinion, are also quite interesting.
Got it. Got it. Now one Mohit have like gone deep down, so he's asking what sort of ROAS can a beauty D2C founder expect now, and what is the hook to maximize the ROAS?
I wouldn't have a very compelling answer for you. I think people who are actually running Facebook ads today will give you that answer. I did not run Facebook on my own in the last 6, 7 years. I built an in-house team, so they were doing it. But I can tell you that ROAS was getting out of control for us. We used to spend 1 crore on Facebook every month. We cut that down to 30 lakhs. And our D2C was our most profitable channel. And our CAC was trending downwards every month. Every month, the CAC was trending downwards. And more repeat customers were coming and buying it. It was a combination of smart acquisition and smart retention. So for acquisition, we basically found a new channel to acquire customers, which was Google Pay. So the Google Pay scratch card, right? So we tried multiple products on Google Pay scratch card, but one product really clicked, and that helped us acquire customers very cheaply. And then we had retention flows, and even in retention, we didn't have anything fancy, no web engage, nothing. Very simple email flows, very simple. WhatsApp also very little because WhatsApp is expensive. A lot of SMS. SMS still works in this country,
Right.
right? SMS gives the best ROAS. So if your question is around ROAS, find economical channels which are repeatable for acquiring customers. And this is very hard. You'll have to really keep looking and trying. Every time a random person emails you and says कि यार I have a model which is cost per sale, तो उसकी कॉल ले लिया करो, क्योंकि you never know कि कब क्या अच्छा हो जाए. गूगल वालों ने मुझे कोविड में लिखा था, तो मैं थोड़ा सा टाइम था मेरे पास, so I took that call, and then we became a case study for them because they were building their ad tech system. So we basically did that with them, and then they came down to Chandigarh to meet us, and I think we became one of the brands which were doing a lot. Similarly, for e-com with Blinkit team, like I would sit with them and figure out, like, आप बताओ यार, how do we make this work for you? What products should we launch? Collaborate with people and figure things out. For airport retail, we sat with them. We said, what is the objective? You want to recruit younger customers. So let's make a product which is appealing to them. So we created a airport kit with a small lip and cheek tint, a small perfume for women who are going for a meeting and want a quick touch up. And airport and this is WH Smith. WH Smith was very happy to keep the product because they said this doesn't exist. So sometimes you are basically creating a solution in the context of a channel, and your
Right.
product is not unique. Other people also have, but your assortment is unique.
True. True. There is
So you
also
have
innovation, right?
you it is innovation. So if you create a small kit which does not exist, मैं किसी और ने सोचा नहीं था इसके बारे में अभी, और जहां पे वो बिक रही है वहां पे उसका यूज केस बहुत स्ट्रांग है, तो आप वो भी कर सकते हो.
Agree. Agree. Got it. Got it. Okay. Udit have asked, what kind of investment did you start with while doing bootstrap business, and what is essential, like amount of money? I think he's asking in the natural beauty skin brand. So I
Yeah,
would
whatever money you have, I mean, whatever you can spare. I don't have an answer for it.
got it. Got it. But what's the safety net generally a founder can keep for a
6 months of runway.
right? Right. Got it. Got it. Okay. And Dr. Anam have asked, do you think it's more effective to focus our initial ad spend on Amazon to build brand awareness instead of prioritizing meta ads or driving traffic to our website?
Yeah, it is. I think because see, Amazon, what has happened is has become like a Google with very high search intent. So it's like a search engine where people have come to buy. So you are showing your ad to people who are actually more likely to become customers. So that is a difference definitely between Amazon. But with other channels like Insta and Meta and Facebook and all, you are essentially showing it to a wider audience, but they may not be as motivated to buy as yet.
Got it. Got it.
So you can try both and then double down on Amazon if that is working better.
Right. Right. Anveshika have asked that how will you decide that probably founders have like few SKUs in R&D and lot of products to launch, right? So which products to launch at what time, right? Which is dependent upon the customer feedback or the founder is thing.
Both. It's always a mix of both.
Right.
Customers will tell you something, but customers never know what they exactly want. So it's like you have to observe people. You have to use your own judgment as well as what the customer is telling you. It's like when a child goes to a pediatrician, the pediatrician बच्चे से नहीं पूछता कि यार बच्चा नहीं बता पाएगा उसको क्या प्रॉब्लम है. थोड़ा सा उसको ऑब्जर्व करना पड़ेगा, थोड़ा सा पूछना पड़ेगा. So it's a combination of both.
Got it. Got it. Got it. I think we are coming to an end. So last, I think one or two questions I'll take. Tanishka have asked what are the like major reason for the e-commerce industries to have a conversion rate of 2% only, and why it's not increasing.
I also don't know. I wish it had more. I don't know. This is why. So I when I started, I saw 2%. हम like, ये मतलब 100 लोग दुकान पे आते हैं और सिर्फ दो खरीद के जाते हैं, ये तो अच्छा नहीं है. तो हमने क्या करा, हम लोगों को दुकान पे लाने के बजाय आप लोगों के पास जाओ. What does that mean? That we started using WhatsApp marketing when WhatsApp hadn't even released its API,
Okay.
which means that you get into consultative selling. You ask people to have a consultation with you where you can upsell products to them. You get on the phone with them. You get a call center model.
Right. Right.
So there's no point asking why it is so. I'm just saying what you can do about it.
Right. Got it. Got it. I think we have uh, got mostly all answers. Right. One question, I find it a bit interesting. What Mudit have asked, what's your take on the product discovery stage? For example, when people search products on Google, how do you think this stage will change with AI? And are you seeing any change how the people will shop, like from nowadays?
I'm not seeing a change immediately. I think, but it is, I mean, people are saying that AI will be the new sort of assistant for most of the things. Um, so even if AI is not recommending which brand to use, AI is definitely shaping your thinking, right? So, for example, let's say if I have, any problem and I'm looking for a supplement to eat, so I might ask AI that, look, I feel fatigued all the time. I got my test done and my so and so was low. What is going on? What should I do? So AI will tell you should eat some supplement along with magnesium and blah blah blah. So then those search terms will then go into Amazon, and then if your product is ranking high organically with very good reviews and it's a bestseller tag, then there you go. That funnel is cracked basically. So that is already happening. So this has also happened all earlier also. In beauty also, if you remember before the influencers, there was beauty blogs where
Right.
people used to review the products. So we used to read those blogs, women used to read those blogs and then go and buy a product in the store.
Right.
So similar thing is going on right now with AI, Google, Amazon. All these things are going to coexist, and so AI will give you information which is, um, I mean that whole thing around creating blogs and educational content. I don't think will be required. You just have to show up at the right places. That might play out.
Right. Right. Okay. Uh, Last question I'll bring. Any tips? Pranjal have asked any tips for the luxury clothing brand, but I would say generalize luxury brands because it's very difficult for them to reach out to the customers because that are going in very niche category, right? How will they brand? How will they propose? How the brand positioning or storytelling would be, right? And how
Luxury
will
to me, so luxury brands are all about who else is wearing it. So they are basically signaling products essentially. To be able to signal a product, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. I mean, you end up buying a Rolex when you have money in life, but Rolex is showing you ads since the time you were 10 years old.
true,
Similarly, the Mercedes hoarding on the road is being seen by so many people who are driving around, but not everybody can afford one. But when they will afford, Mercedes will be the first brand. So that's the kind of vision luxury branding is done. I think a lot of people think that just by adding golden in their logo and pricing the product high, it's become luxury. That's not true luxury.
true. Got
It's a
it.
long game. So although
Right,
the gross margin is luxury in luxury is high, it's not too high growth because of that, because it takes very long time to build the brand.
right, right, right. Got it. I think we are coming to the end, so just want to know and ask you to share the final thoughts, right? That would be most motivating and will help the audience to build their business, right? Last two, three key takeaways they can bring.
Yeah, two, three disjointed thoughts. Yeah, these are things I've been thinking about and I've been posting on LinkedIn also about.
Yeah,
So then I think the first thing that I was just thinking about yesterday is that a lot of times, we say that, we have self-doubt and that is a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. So I was reading about this very famous physicist called Richard Feynman, who is a very celebrated scientist and a physicist. He used to talk about physics so that even a 10-year-old can understand. So he said, like, a scientist always has a doubt in his findings. In every experiment, there is a doubt, and doubt is what drives you forward. So the moment you are too confident कि अब तो मैंने सब सही बना दिया है, that is when you will stop growing. So
yeah,
self doubt is a fuel. So don't, like, you should entertain it. Second is that this whole thing about, learn from failure should be celebrated and all that. It can only be celebrated after you are successful. Before that, a failure is a failure. You please feel bad about it. Okay. If you are not feeling bad about failing, there is something wrong with you. This is what I feel.
Right.
And learn from other people's experiences from a distance, you know. And the third is that, the lowest points that you will have, and this is contradictory to what I just said. Okay, while I'm saying that don't fail and all, matlab you have to win. But at the same time, if you end up failing and you have a very low point, trust me, any person who has had a low point, they will always say, "यार, I really wish कि वो दोबारा मेरे साथ कभी ना हो." Right? I never, I'm in that situation. But secretly, they will also be very thankful for that because that would have taught them a lot of things.
Right.
So these three things are my last thoughts. That's it.
Got it. Got it. Thank you, Anish, for the insightful session. I hope like I got a lot of learnings. Uh, for sure, I like, fortunately if I can use that in my tenure, and I hope everybody who have attended the session got all the learnings. So we will
If you
close.
guys enjoyed it, just give us thumbs up in the chat window so we'll know, yeah, that
And
whoever thinks it was a decent session, so that we'll also feel good about ourselves.
yeah,
Nice.
thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Also, the questions which are left, we will surely poll, and in the group you can ask. So we can float it to Arush, or we will also. So I saw that a few guys have asked for some helps or connects here and there. So we will also tap down and give the industry connects to you, so that this will be helpful for everyone. And
Cool.
again, for the Elevate Pulse, it is by Elevate, the program accelerator. If you are early stage founders in pre-revenue, early revenue stage, we will float the links. And if you want to raise the fundings and grow your scale your business, we would be happy to onboard you and help you in every stage. Please do apply. We will float the registration link also in our WhatsApp group, and we can take the journey forward. Thank you, Arush, once again. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you,
Thank
everyone,
you.
for joining
And
in.
you. Bye. Take
Thank
care.
you, everyone. Take care.
Cheers.